Hello everybody and welcome to JSmith takes a quick look at Trackmania 2 Stadium Beta. That is a mouthful. But if you don't have any idea what this is, well, let me give you a little rundown. It is part of the Mania Planet, which is basically what you see here. What is Mania Planet? Well, it's kind of Ubisoft's and Trackmania and Shootmania's all-encompassing Mania kind of system, ecosphere, universe, whatever you want to call it. So basically what you see here is kind of like the hub world. You have Shootmania Storm, Shootmania Heroes, Shootmania Royale, Elite, more Royale, and Joust. But we're not going to focus that. We're going to focus on the Stadium 2 beta. This is a sequel to the free-to-play Trackmania Nations Forever, and a not-so-sequel, but more like cousin to Trackmania 2 Canyon. Stadium features a twist of the typical racing genre that I find very, very attractive, and so, before I get out too far, let's jump into this. In the beta, I currently have access to solo play, which features the white difficulty, and you have 15 tracks to kind of go back and forth of. I have no idea if I'm able to unlock the green, but yet so far, not able to do that. So if I go back, I'm able to select multiplayer, which I believe is where the game truly shines. The multiplayer is kind of fit in with all kinds of different servers right now. My favorite being the Giant Bomb Official Classic, in which I'm going to connect to right now before I give you more further details on the rest of the game itself. So let's join up with this. I'm going to join the server, and hopefully it won't take too long. But basically, in Trackmania 2 Stadium Beta, wow, there's so many words involved in one simple title. Your car is basically equipped with two buttons. A gas button and a brake/reverse button. I say button as opposed to throttle because there is only the momentum that you build and the acceleration are all dictated by the press of a button. And so if I'm using my 360 control, which I am right now, it does not allow for an analog kind of control scheme or kind of the use of the triggers, which would kind of give you more variance in the power and the acceleration that you're giving your car. Instead, you're limited to a button press, in which I have it currently mapped out as my X button, and then my brake/reverse button is my left bumper. Good news, you're not going to use the reverse button too much unless if you get really pissed off and want to just be able to finish the level as opposed to restarting it straight off the bat, which is a great feature for this game, is if you ever feel like you're not doing too well, and you can just restart right at the beginning without any penalty whatsoever. How does that make any sense? Well, the whole entire premise of Trackmania is not the tried and true racing formula. This is all about time trials. So while you're playing Trackmania Nations Beta Forever Stadium 2, sequel to whatever the hell I just said in the earlier part of the video, basically, your own worst enemy is yourself. So you're gonna constantly just try to do one-up yourself, while also, racing kind of against the other opponents on the track. So what this basically allows for is no running into people. There's no bumping and grinding. There's no worrying about what side or direction that people are passing you on, or what side and direction that you're passing people on. It's all about just trying to get the best lap that you possibly can compared to all the other drivers, which makes it really more about yourself and an individual effort more so than kind of playing against the field. It's good in some ways, and some people might not like that if they are, if they want to have that contact in Trackmania. Personally, I like the direction of this sense of the game as well. It's more of a, and you guys are gonna think me as absolutely insane, but I really consider this game to be very much like Super Meat Boy in the terms of the controls and how the game actually plays through. So in the controls, as you see, that the game is extremely tight. The controls, the grip of the car, they're just everything that I do on my controller, I feel that it's immediately responded to on the screen. So there's no slowdown, there's no feedback, there's no lag compensation. Everything that I'm doing, I feel like I have complete control over my car no matter what, which is great in one sense that if I do something wrong, I feel like it's me and not the game's fault. And that's generally 90% of what I do in this game, I believe it is my fault. The other 10% is the map creator's fault. And so what I mean by that is a lot of these maps that we're playing on are completely customized. And so someone out there made this map for us to play upon, and depending on that person's sanity is what the map output is going to be like. There are some extremely difficult maps, and there are some pretty straightforward maps. The one I just played on was fairly straightforward. Short, probably, what was it, only about like 30 seconds to get across the entire map. Not bad at all. There are several types. You could do circuit tracks, and you can do these start to finish tracks. The start to finish tracks generally are, I think they would have my preference, just because I don't want to do laps per se in Trackmania all the time, just because it gives me it's a little bit of a sense of trying something different, just trying to race from point A to point B without having to go around and finish, a bunch of laps, as opposed to just kind of one straightforward track. The great thing about this game in terms of the customization is a lot of the weird effects that people can do with physics. And I'm going to actually take a little bit step back from my speedometer here. I'm just going to slow this down and try to, gather all my thoughts in my head while not trying to separate my brain and try to race my best race in the world. So again, with the time trial, the base multiplayer, I think that is an excellent way to do things. I'm really enjoying that. I don't quite feel like I'm racing so much against everyone else in the world when I'm mostly focused on getting my best time that I can. And what the game actually allows you to do is it saves your ghosts every race or every lap that you complete, and it'll let you know exactly how well you're doing in relation to the ghosts that you've run in the past. Which is great for me, because if I run a bad lap, I want to know if I'm running a bad lap. And getting those automatic updates and automatic feedback allows me to, just kind of better myself. As you see here, I am the 5th person that finished, probably because most of the people in this messed up on some corner and was just able, or all you have to do to restart the game is just press the delete key and you start right back at the beginning with 0 penalty to your time whatsoever, which is great because it's, again, kind of like Super Meat Boy. If you mess up and if you die, all you have to do is, you're one button press away from getting right back to the beginning and not having to worry about, too lengthy of a track or too lengthy of a respawn, because everything happens in real time as quickly and as efficiently as possible, and I absolutely love that. Another part of the customization to this game isn't so focused on the tracks, although the tracks are completely, and so you'll have tracks that you go around bends that are, 90 degrees. You'll do loop-de-loops, you'll do crazy, obscene jumps. The angles of the road change dramatically from almost doing like corkscrew type loops to barrel rolls to full loop-de-loops. It is just absolutely absurd things that you'll see in this game, and that the creators of all the maps are able to kind of twist to their own demented devices, and it's great. But there's also a customization aspect to the servers themselves, and so your servers can be as crazy and as fun and as amazing as possible. The full background music that you can put in here are super great. I know the Giant Bomb actually has a lot of pop music that in the background, so that's why I had to kind of turn this down, because I didn't want any copyright infringements on my YouTubes, so I had to turn that down, and so that's why you're kind of only listening to the buzz or the roar of my engine right now as I crashed myself right into that wall. Which brings me to another feature, another amazing part about this game is how great it looks and how fluid it runs. For how amazing that this game looks right now, and I think it looks just gorgeous. And to be able to record this and run this at 60 frames per second is pretty amazing for me. And I think it's just a testament to how well the game is so easily. It's it's really inviting to a lot of people, because if this is running just so well on my machine, there's plenty of machines out there that this is also going to be able to run, which I think is kind of the ideal behind the original Trackmania Nations Forever, which is a free-to-play version of this game. You know, it doesn't look as pretty, but it's still, I would say, the control scheme and the overall quality of the product is super great as well. But if you're looking for a new racing game and you have $10 to spare, I urge you to at least check out if there's a demo of this game, or just help put down the $10 and save yourself the heartache of installing the demo and just install the full game. I don't think too many racing fans out there are going to be upset with this. Again, the controls are just perfect. They're exactly everything I want out of a racing game. It's not simulation and it's not super arcadey, although it is super arcadey. I don't know, it's the fine line that this game runs on, that the physics makes real world sense, but also is zany enough that you can do all the fun stuff that you can't exactly do in, you know, say a simulation racing game. If I were to say if I were to rank my favorite racing game, if I had to give it one, I'd probably say like Project Gotham Racing 2. And the reason because of that is it's that fine line between sim games and arcade games. And I find a lot of what I really enjoyed about PGR in Trackmania. There isn't the bumping and grinding between the different cars, but still the sense of speed that you get in this game, the sense of fun, and the sheer amount of customization is just amazing. I've seen people in this game with, you know, crazy color, you know, vehicles and crazy details, and, you know, able to kind of manipulate their cars to look a lot different from this one. I've even seen a Dr. Robotnik from Sonic in his flying little machine racing alongside me, which I thought was probably the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. But I don't know. I can't really describe to you even more in detail about how much I am enjoying this game so far. The server lists are generally you're on one server for or you're on one map for probably around like 5 to 7 minutes before the server changes. Or at least that's the typical amount that I have found in the Giant Bomb playlist. And I think that's perfect amount. It gives you enough time to get comfortable with the track to do, you know, your few good runs in it. But it's a good enough time interval between them that you never feel too bored. And as we go to the next track, I'll do a couple runs on the next track just to give you guys a better perspective, or, you know, kind of a new perspective on another world. So a lot of these, the first two, these first two tracks that I've been on right now have been fairly basic. You haven't seen too much of the track rotations or the gravity-based stuff that awaits you. But if you simply put down that $10, get into this beta for the stadium, I believe that Trackmania 2 Canyon is a little bit more expensive. So let's test this one out. Everything in Trackmania, it feels right, and it's all... So whether or not you're racing on this kind of concrete, or if you're racing on some of the dirt track pieces available, or on the grass, everything feels a little bit different. It feels right as well. I remember this track. Oh, I think this has a fairly decent... So here's that one of the weird paths right there, how it kind of dipped to one side. And the finish line is in a weird position as well. So I'm actually jumping off the cliff and going to the right to finish off there. So it has a little bit of challenge runs to everything as well, and I kind of really enjoy that, because you never know exactly what you're going to get when you play this game, because all the tracks and all of the servers have different, you know, maps, and I think a lot about this game is the surprise that you're going to get for playing a lot of these maps for the first time, just because you're not going to be used to it, and it's going to be something new and something unique, and something that you really want to be able to accomplish as you pass this kind of coincident looking car to the right. Come on, get it! Oh, I really drilled that top part there. But that's alright, because I got in first for now. I'm sure this Canadian Upsendisis and even this, what is that, Denmark or Holland or something? I don't know what flag that was. But regardless, super fun game. Go Team USA. I think I'm number like 34th in the current stand in the state of North Carolina, which is the state that I reside in. But anyways, super fun game. I really do recommend it, and yeah, there's not much else to say about it. $10, you can find it on Steam and play it with all the other Trackmania games that you may have or may have not. Everything's available on that Mania planet. So feel free to check out this game. Let me know what you guys like in the comments section. Let me know. I think my name on Mania Planet is just JSmith. So if you want to just send me an invite and maybe we'll race against each other, you guys can compare scores and everything. Feel free to do that. My name on there is just JSmith, no OTI or anything. If you want to reach me outside of YouTube and outside of Trackmania, you can do that on Twitter, and it is JSmith_OTI. I'm just kind of driving through this water right now. And if you want to catch some live stream action, in Trackmania, this game actually does feature live streaming through Twitch, and so you can check maybe some future Trackmania streams, twitch.tv/JSmithOTI. And until next time, thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. I love you guys, and until next time, I will see you later.